Canada. So what we're looking at today is sharing with you not only the bigger vision, but also the steps that we've taken to date. What have we done practically on Vancouver Island that takes us towards that vision in the future? And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Derek, and he will take it from there.
The first half of CAVI's evolution really focused very much around what we had called the Learning Amongst series. And this was very much a local initiative. However, there were other things going on. As you can see, we've got 5 areas within Vancouver Island, including the metro part of Vancouver itself, where there were local initiatives going on, but there was, to some degree, the genesis of what we've been calling interregional educational information and knowledge exchange at that time. Well, where the real watershed took place for the CAVI Learning Link series was around about 2010, 2011. And we had at that time what we called the developers dialogue. And the reason for that dialogue was because the developers would constantly say to us, if you tell us what it is that you want us to do, we'll do it. But you need to be very clear. Don't move your goalposts. They wanted to see change from talking through the Learning Link series to action. So around at that time, we said, okay, look, let's figure out what we want, what's needed here. And we talked about it for a long time about the value of vision and cost savings to apply to the best management practices and things like the LIDs, or the low impact development alternatives. They obviously provide the opportunity for some reduction in ecological footprint, balance between ecology and settlement. But what does this really mean in practice? The developers simply said to us, look, set the goalposts, don't move it, and we work with you to try and get things done. So right from the outset, we recognized that in order to be successful, we need to get things done right at the front end. And we also recognize that in order to do that, we need to start thinking about planning on a watershed basis. So this in turn required a significant change in thinking. When you think about development in general taking place, the first thing you think about is the infrastructure that's left after that development, and we think about in terms of what's required down the road from a maintenance point of view. That leads to your acronym, if you like, asset management. But if you don't get it right at the front end, that asset management can quickly revert to an infrastructure liability. So we recognize that, I guess, 2 things. By aligning efforts on a watershed scale, we'd be able to adapt to developing a regional response to infrastructure liability. And I'll come back to what that really means in practice in a second. So this led to the development of a guide to water-wise land development. And we've indicated that starting around about 2013, 2014 is when we hope to actually lead off in terms of developing the watershed blueprint itself. But the interesting thing is that from a Comox Valley perspective, we have a litmus test, if you like, to try and prove some of the principles that we've been talking about and that we try to put in place from the developers dialogue back in 2010, 2011. Brooklyn Creek is an interesting watershed in that it transverses 3 municipalities. We've got the Comox Valley Regional District, the town of Comox itself, and the city of Corby. And to be successful, it was quite obvious at the outset that we needed regional collaboration. We needed to have this response on a regional basis to infrastructure liability, and we needed to align our efforts on a watershed scale. And as I said earlier, the first 2-stage development of watershed blueprint is scheduled for 2014. Now, none of this would have been possible had we not applied some of the basic principles of interregional information exchange, or what we are now calling interregional educational initiatives. We led quite heavily on North Vancouver and also the Capital Regional District, and we learned a lot from them, particularly, for example, with the Brooklyn Creek Initiative, and we used that as the guideline to help us put together a blueprint. So again, here's an example of collaboration to make things function. In order to be successful, But there's nothing rocket science about this. We applied some basic principles, we tested them, we've proven that they work. We have this mantra, we talk about the 4 C's of collaboration, cooperation, communication, and coordination. But the important thing is that we have to think about working around man-made boundaries. Think in terms of the natural boundaries. So try and work around the political boundaries and think about the watershed boundaries. That's the focus of our success. And collaborating on a regional response to infrastructure liability and not asset management. But where we've been really successful is the way we've gone about making sure that we've established solid footings, good foundations, before we move ahead to the next stages of our initiative. We've done this simply by keeping all parties informed, capturing and recording and reflecting on points of consensus, and building on these to the next steps. But what we've done consistently at the end of each of the phases of our development, particularly towards this initiative for the blueprint of the watershed, is that we've gone back to the senior management, to the CAOs, and we said, look, this is where we've been, this is where we plan to go, this is what we'd like to do for the next steps, and these are the outcomes. What do you think? Making sure we get that understanding, that buy-in right at the outset. And they've come back consistently and given us the endorsement to move ahead to proceed to the next step. I guess the segue that I want to make to Eric's next introduction is that these basic principles for success can be applied on an interregional basis for collaboration, information exchange. But locally, we've proven that they can be successful, but they can also be applied on an island-wide basis. And you can think of applying these same principles on a scale beyond the island. So if you want to hold that thought, Eric's going to expand upon the importance of this idea and how it might impact Vancouver.